What up, everybody? This the Persian Legacy from Santa Ana, Orange County, and y'all checking in with the Why Not podcast. What's happening?
How you do your work so well. You've been working so hard.
Hey, what's going on, man? This is the host with the most, Mr. Bro Rogan, man. This is the Why Not podcast. Before I get started, remember to like, subscribe, and give a thumbs up. And today I'm sitting here with a special guest, man. We're sitting here with the Persian Legacy. Let's get it.
Pleasure to be here.
Hey, no problem, man. I appreciate you coming in, man. You know, I heard that you checked out the show a few times, and we got to get a little bit of a little history on you on the internet and stuff, man. I've been checking you out. So let's go ahead and introduce yourself, and let's get into it.
My name is Persian Legacy. I'm from Orange County. Everybody calls me Legacy, or you know, these days I hear Coach more than anything. Everybody calls me Coach. You know, I'm an instructor now, and before all of that, though, I'm a father of 3.
Oh, congratulations!
Yes, sir. And I raise my children by myself. All 3 of them. I got 2 girls and a boy. So, you know, before everything, I'm a father first.
Okay.
But then, you know, recording artist, mixed martial artist, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, 4th degree black belt under Master Joe Moreira, who is a UFC legend.
Yes, he is.
Damn. First person to bring Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and like all that to Orange County, California, which is where I'm from. And yeah, I'm a student of his, man. And yeah, I'm just out here just trying to, you know, do right.
Now, quick question. Yeah. How long does it take to become a 4th degree Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu? Yes. Like, that takes super dedication. Like, how long did it take you to get your 4th belt?
So right now, I just got my 4th degree in December, and it's been 19 years.
Congratulations. We got to give a props on that, man. Because people don't understand the discipline that it takes to become a fighter, not only to be a fighter, but to stick with it. And like, I mean, because you basically knowing you going in to get punched. And like a lot of people choke, slam. A lot of people don't really realize the hard. It's a lot of work. It reminds me somewhat of like the NFL. I always I grew up a super football fan, but I noticed the older I'm getting, the less into football I am because, one, I'm a diehard baseball fan. Like, baseball has always been my number 1 sport, but, you know, growing up, like, in high school, middle school, football was the shit.
Yeah, I played football.
I did too. But
I played nose guard and center. I was front line.
I played corner and wide receiver. So I was a skill position. Yeah. So, but I noticed the older I'm getting, the less I like it because all I see now is just the violence. And it's like to see people running that fast and hitting that hard, I'm just shocked that people still love it. And that's how I feel about MMA, which I fucking adore.
You know, like with football, it's like, tell me what the fuck else is more amazing to watch than when like a quarterback gets blindsided, he goes flying in the air, his fucking helmet's flying everywhere. You know, people like violence. Which is fucking, you know, sad to say, but
people do.
You know, like Dana White in the UFC says, you know, fighting is in our DNA, and we get it, and you know, as much as you know, sometimes it's rough. You know, sometimes violence is needed.
Sometimes it's rough, and sometimes it's
create
needed.
Peace.
That is definitely dope. Now, I see that we introduced you as Persian Legacy.
Yes, sir.
However, there's another name that you go by. I don't know if that's your real name or.
That's my real name, Borna.
Okay, how do you pronounce it? Help us.
Borna. Simple.
Borna.
Yeah, Borna. Yeah.
Borna. And what?
I'm Persian. I'm Persian.
Of course.
My parents are from Iran. My parents were born in Iran, Tehran.
Okay.
And then, you know, at that time when they were there was like an 8-year war with Iran and Iraq.
Iraq, yeah, I remember.
And so it was not, and like
the Gulf War.
If you can imagine, you know, bombs going off in your city and all that shit, you know, my parents wanted to get the fuck out of there. So in their early 20s, they moved to Boston. They moved to Boston.
That's why we see the Celtics logo. Okay.
I was born in Boston.
Go ahead.
But I'm West Coast.
Okay,
you know
no. It's no
I'm
problem.
West
Hey,
Coast all day.
represent whatever you
Yeah,
want,
I'm
man.
from Santa Ana.
Okay, yeah, we don't hate over here, man.
But I was born in Boston, and
Uh-huh.
I didn't stay there very long.
Okay.
I stayed in. We lived in Boston till I think I was in second grade or third grade. We moved to Westlake in L.A.
Okay.
And then from Westlake, I was still very young when I was there, maybe fourth or fifth grade.
Mm-hmm.
One night my aunt was getting married, and my dad had been drinking a lot. And, he gets to fighting with my mom and, my mom's brother. And then, at that age, my mom was like done with him. So we ended up moving from Westlake to Santa Ana.
Oh,
to Orange
okay.
County. And that's where I've been ever since.
Go ahead.
Warren G used to say grooving into Santa Ana.
Hey,
And
all
we
through
playing,
there, man.
Make a hell of $5. Yeah, but no, it's Orange County's got its nice places, and then it's also got its gangs and everything, just like L.A.
Oh,
it's got everything out there. It's a beautiful place, but it has everything.
Okay.
Just like anywhere you go, right?
Okay, so is that where you, like, as a youngster in Orange County, is that where you picked up your music sense or your fighting sense? What came first?
Yeah, music came first.
Music came first.
Music came first, bro. Yeah, I remember the first time I really started paying attention to wanting to be a rapper. We were in San Jose.
Okay.
I went to visit my cousin, right? And this was the time when Dr. Dre had just dropped The Chronic.
Oh, okay.
And he's like, hey, we drove in the Cadillac over to the remember when they had the warehouse entertainment fucking stores back in the day?
100%.
Yeah,
100%.
A lot of the youngsters don't even know what that.
You see my new merch.
Yeah.
It's a play off of the Chronic.
I have CDs I brought a couple of CDs.
Yeah, please.
Because I used to print up all my CDs.
Let's go ahead. So,
but yeah.
Go ahead, finish. Sorry.
So we're in San Jose. He's like, I'm going to take you to the store. I want to get something. And he's like, okay. And I don't know what the fuck he's going to do. So we pull up at the warehouse. We go inside. I see him. He's like, go over there. And I'm like, what's wrong with you?
Right.
Like, go over there, man. I'm like, okay. So he gets the CD, tucks it inside of his jacket. And then he looks at me and he goes,
let's go.
Points towards the door. So I know, oh, shit. I'm like, oh, so we go get in the car, and then nothing but a G thing, bro.
Man.
We played that song, man. Shit.
See, because we're near the same age, and I always stress because I don't hide from my age. I don't hide from getting older. That's one thing I appreciate. I like it. I love getting older. I don't think I'm not embarrassed by younger kids. Because I really enjoyed everything about my life, whether from a child, a teenager to my 20s. And one thing I do really, really appreciate, the originality of a lot of the stuff that people kind of mimic now. Like, we are talking about The Chronic. Yeah. Like, we're talking about an album that started like skits. Yeah. People having skits on their album. That was not a thing until Dr. Dre and them dudes started doing that. 100%. And like, and another thing, because I myself, I used to dabble in music too. And you as a musician, I can say something to you I'm sure you'll agree with. If you listen to the Chronic album, that is probably the greatest mixed album ever, because the clarity in the music, it sounds just as good whether you're listening to it on the soapbox radio, the car stereo, the CD, vinyl. It is a perfectly mixed album. So it sounds good no matter. And like, that was one of the things that I loved about it. And not only that, it introduced us to the father of rap, Snoop, and like
classic.
So
classic.
Your cousin stole that, and that's what hooked you to
he put that shit on, and I was like, I remember that feeling, because I remember like when I first used to hear songs like that, it used to make that, like, the hair on the back of my head stick up
100%
in the car. And when I got that feeling, I thought, man, I want to make somebody feel like that.
Come on now.
You know what I'm saying? I want somebody to play my music and feel like that. So at that young age, when I heard Nothing But a G thing, I was like, man, I'm gonna start writing. So I immediately after that, I was like,
come on now.
So I'm sure I'm not the only one. Man, you know what I'm saying?
Listen,
I'm sure there's a generation of kids that rap.
I'm part of that generation too, because like, I looked at it like,
and Dr. Dre.
Exactly. And like, I'm glad you said that, because that hair raising feeling we got listening to that. But remember how like anticipated the fucking Doggy Style album was after that.
yeah.
So it was like they was hitting us back to back with just some of the greatest music ever. So you got into music because of the Chronic, and that's where you first wrote your first rhyme, listening
100%. And I'll be honest, bro. Like, you know, when I first started rapping, you know, I didn't know how to rap for shit.
No.
So I would just I would get a piece of paper and I'd just write these long stories that kind of rhymed and shit, but the shit sounded like garbage.
So did you base your style off of someone, or did you beginning?
I knew like I was different. I knew from a very young age when I started rapping that I was different because I was Persian. And I knew, you know, that's one thing that separates me from a lot of artists.
I'm trying to think.
I don't know of too many like very popular Iranian like rappers.
I can't think of,
or you know, that are from the West Coast or anything like that.
I remember
maybe
Fred Wreck.
Yeah, I think he's Palestinian. But
sorry about that.
But I'm not sure.
Okay, sorry about that. But no, I can't think of any.
He's a producer though, right?
Yeah, he produced for Dre and yeah.
I'm thinking of as far as rap goes.
I can't think of it.
Yeah, so I always kind of thought like that was my lane that I always had. That
it still is,
and it absolutely is, brother.
100%.
And so yeah, when I started writing and stuff, and you know when you want to live that life, and you know, and my homeboys, you know, I grew up in a black neighborhood.
Okay.
And you know it was just like there was a lot of talented rappers in our area. Already in where I'm from, yes, and they're very talented artists.
Right.
And you know, as I'm starting to write and mess around and make, you know, I was recording on the fucking karaoke machine. You know,
hey, you start off the way you start. We all start from the bottom.
Yeah, you know, back in the days they used to have this program called Acid. I don't know if you remember it, but you could record it on the old school computers and shit. Like, man, I would record
take it back
any way I could. I was recording, right? But I wasn't that good. I'll be honest. And I remember one day they're like, the big homeboys, they rap and stuff.
Uh-huh.
You know, there's a studio here in Santa Ana. They're all over there.
Okay.
And you know, I was getting in trouble at this time. You know, I was fucking up. I was doing drugs. And I had my period. I was smoking meth. I was doing speed at the time. I was smoking weed. I was experimenting with all kinds of drugs.
Right.
I never did heroin or nothing like that.
Right. But
I didn't really do coke, but ecstasy, acid, and the speed was really big where I was from. So I fucked around with that stuff for a little while. I was going in and out of jail, and you know, they took me to the studio one night.
Okay.
And then that's when I kind of saw my big homeboys rap. And, you know, that I was expecting to go in there and just like, you know, everybody was supposed to be like, damn, he the best.
Damn. You got the reality check? Did the big homies put you
Bro, Rogan, I'm telling you, bro. Bro, my big homie Joker and Damo, Damo's like, man, I still think he got signed to Joe Moses' record label.
Okay, shout out Joe Moses.
Yeah.
Man.
I heard him rap, bro, and I was like, I knew they wanted to hear me rap after that, and I heard Damo rap, and I was like, where's the door at? Where's the fucking door at? I didn't want to rap no more.
That's crazy.
Nah, man, I'm good. But no, you know what? They took me under their wing, bro.
Okay.
And then, you know, there was another homeboy of mine named Slick that was through the studio, and like instead of you know just talking shit on me all the time, they literally taught me how to rap.
Okay, so did they actually structure songs for you? Like, look, you got 8
credit.
bars, you got a
Exactly.
bridge, you got a hook.
I didn't know how to do none of that shit.
Taught you how to count bars and stuff.
I had to learn how to be on beat. I wasn't on beat, Joe. I didn't even know how to do
right.
none of that shit.
Right. People don't understand. It's a special skill.
I'm telling you.
You can't just, nowadays you probably can do it and get away with it.
If you grow up around it and people doing it,
you're
going to be good at it from a young age.
Yeah, because my cousins, they were rapping. Like, I grew up during the same era, and like, there was so much good music coming out, not just on the West Coast, but like that's when I really started getting heavy in the East Coast raps, like Mobb Deep. And Wu-Tang came out.
I'm a fan of the East Coast music too.
So like, I was becoming such a fan of lyrics that I'm like, damn, I think I can do this. So me and my cousin Amir, we started like every song that came on the radio would just freestyle over it. Yeah. And at the time, it was, I'll never forget. We had If I Ruled the World was on, Paparazzi.
Back in the days.
Paparazzi.
I rapped on that beat too. I think a lot of it.
So every time those songs came on, we would just destroy it. And we thought we was the hardest niggas on the West Coast. But come to find out, his older brother, my older cousin, and our other cousins, they were already making music. Yeah. So we went to their apartment, and they had like the studio in the apartment and shit. And I remember me doing my first song with them, and like it was trash. It was trash, and it was like, but then like they sat us down. They told us how to count bars, and it started because like. We always made our own beats. So like the tap tempo from the MPC and that's how they taught me. Yeah. Like on that fourth tap, bam, you come in and tap, they come in, and like that's how I learned. But like you said, we all started off trash.
Yeah, but for me that was very important because it was something I really wanted to do. And you know, I really wanted to do it, and that was the only like good thing, positive thing that I was chasing. Okay. Outside of what else I was doing, which was getting in trouble, jacking people, shit like that, going back and forth to jail, getting ready to do, going to juvenile hall, all that stuff. So fun. It was the only thing that I really was pursuing that was positive. Right. And these guys really, I'm always going to I look at it because from a martial arts angles, those were my teachers.
100%.
And I made something out of myself with that.
Sensei Joker.
Sensei Joker, Damo Slick. There was a lot of them. There was a lot of them that helped me out. But being around those type of individuals that are better than you. Right. It's the same thing with, jiu-jitsu and MMA. When you train with people that are better than you, because me as a 4th degree black belt, if I train with someone that's brand new, I can almost do anything I want to them.
That is,
I'm not trying to be.
That's the realest shit ever.
I'm not trying to have a big ego.
Oh no! That is the God's honest truth.
Just from experience, of course,
100%
you can lose a fight anytime. But just from experience of doing this for 19 years, that's what I've seen.
That is do not feel like you're.
Yeah, I'm not trying to
arrogant or cocky. It's the truth, because when you train at something, you're only training to be better. So you knowing that you're better than someone, that's not you being cocky. That's just you speaking your truth.
So they groomed me, to be around those type of individuals. You're only going to get better. Okay. And, and they were a soulful family. They were, even though they were individuals that, would get in trouble and were living that life, they always wanted the best for me.
Got it.
They always, stop, get in here. Okay. Come eat. What are you doing? What are you doing to yourself? Come do this music. Quit fucking around. Legacy, what's wrong with you? And then when I started going to jail, I started seeing, oh shit, that this is what they were talking about.
Got it.
Because then when I got to jail, I started to see like what they were why they were telling me not to go there. Okay. All the bullshit politics and all the riots and everything.
Yeah, that shit is not fun. Now I don't want to jump to a different subject, but since we're on the talk of MMA, how did you first start getting into MMA? Like, how did you segue from music to mixed martial arts?
That's what I was getting into right there.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
you led me into it. Yeah. But I was doing the music. I was going in and out of jail. Okay. And then the last time that I got out of jail, I was like, man, I got to make something out of my life. Got it. And the concert nights in jail. I would rap my shit.
Rapping, yeah.
And when I sat at the table, when they would roll me up to get ready to take my stuff out, I'll run the brother car, but the Southside Shock, I was like, radio. The brother is getting out. Let him bust a rap, and I busted a rap, and I remember that moment for myself. I remember I said, man, I can't come back here anymore. No. And once I got out, that's when I had my first daughter, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna start to get serious. I found out I had a daughter that was born on MySpace. I didn't even know she was alive yet. Yeah, so she was premature. The mom was on drugs, and she's like, you got a daughter, and she has sleep apnea, and she's in the hospital. And I'm like, I'd only been with the mother one time, so I'm like, really? Damn. I show up there, And then I look at the face of my daughter. Shout out to my daughter Layla.
Shout out Layla.
I saw her face. I was like, "That's my kid."
That's my
you know?
kid. It changes you,
Yeah,
man.
That was
Immediately.
it. That was it, bro. And I was selling CDs. I started selling CDs in the streets. My homeboys told me you can't just sit in a studio. You take these songs, even though they sucked at the time.
Right.
I pressed my shit up. I took money from. I remember at the time I did my taxes. I got a few $1,000s, and I pressed up 2,000 CDs, and I hit the streets.
That's what. Come on, grinding.
Bro, I did that shit for 15 years. 15 years. No bullshit. There's
grind.
nobody in Orange County that can say they've sold more CDs in the streets than I.
Come on, give it up for Legacy.
Not in the
Number
streets.
one CD. Hey, that's a good flex, man, because
I
people
took that
don't-
shit as a job, bro.
Hey,
And
you have to
I sold
because
it to
it's
grandma.
your life.
Yeah.
It's your life.
Yeah.
No one's going to help you more than you.
Yeah.
So, like, if that's what you need to do or needed to do, that's the only way to do it. Because some people, they think, like, when they see Playboy Cardis or they see the Lil Waynes or they see these huge artists, they think they just hit the studio and became huge. They don't see the grind that came before that.
No.
So, like, in order for you to get to that level, you got to be out here pressing up 2,000 of your own CDs. Like, it's a hustle.
I hustled and I had gotten real overweight because I had stopped doing drugs and stuff and I remember I was like, man, I gotta get my ass in shape. And one day I was selling CDs. And in the parking lot I was at, because when I had gotten out of jail the last time, my parents had moved to Palm Springs.
Okay.
And so we moved to Palm Springs for like 2 years. And towards the end of my time, that's when I had started selling the CDs and all that shit. And yeah, man, I'm selling CDs one day and I see this truck pull up. It says Tap Out on it, real big. Like,
I see.
it's a sign from God or some
Yeah, it
shit, right?
is.
Like, you need to get your ass in shape, and you just been in all those riots and shit. Like, you should be working out and doing some martial arts. So I hit the dude up. I sold him a CD. I was like, where you do that shit at? And he's like, oh man, Kurt Rojo's gym. It's called the Road Dogs Gym, Road Dogs Fight House.
It's a great name.
So he's like, this the address, call him up and go over there. I went over there and I trained, bro, Rogan, man. Whew, that first day, man, I got the shit kicked out of me, bro. Fucking A. I thought I knew how to fight and everything.
Right,
bro.
we all do until you get into a ring with a fighter.
Yeah, man. I got my ass kicked that day, bro. I remember I got tapped out probably like 20, 25 times, bro, in like 30 minutes. It was crazy.
Right.
My neck was hurting. My arms were all hyperextended. I was fucked up, bro.
Right.
I threw up in my shirt on the way home while I was driving 3 times. Like,
See?
Yeah, man. I remember I got home. I was taking a shower and I was thinking of the faces of the people that had choked me and fucked me up.
You want to go back.
I was like, man, I'll never let that shit happen to me again, bro.
See,
Fuck
but
that.
at least it didn't deter you from going back. Like,
Nah,
you
hell
took
no.
that ass whipping, and with that ass whipping, you said, this is something I want to pursue.
I said it to myself when I was in the shower holding on to my neck. I said, man, if I can learn how to do that, I'll fuck anybody up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's a
Yeah,
good mark to have. You're
yeah.
like, man, if I could just get that good, I'm unstoppable.
Yeah, I was like, I didn't know what MMA was, and to really train with some guys that were fighters, and Kurt, the coach, was a black belt already under my coach, which I would find out later. I didn't know, but yeah, so I started training there. I trained for like 4 days, and man, they were training on carpets.
Whoa.
Yeah, bro.
Not mats.
Everything was scraped up, right? They
Ooh.
were in transition from a gym. They were getting another gym.
Okay.
I was selling CDs, and then a couple days go by, and I meet this other dude named Gilbert who gives me a flyer to another gym called Palm Springs Jiu-Jitsu and MMA.
Oh.
And this is where Cub Swanson was training, at the time, who fought in the UFC for many years. Top contender, fought for the UFC title, all that. And he's like, yeah, we got MMA, all that stuff. Come on over. So I'm like, okay, So I went down and I trained, man, and that's when I was like, man, I love this shit, bro. And I started training. I was there for like 4 months. And then my parents like, guess what? We're moving back to Santa Ana.
Yikes.
I'm like, oh man, like fuck. I had, I had a kind of life down there. I had a girlfriend, but
Right.
I had no place to live. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So boom, we come back to Santa Ana, and at that time, I looked around and I was starting to hang out with my homeboys again. And I
Okay.
was starting to get in trouble again
Damn.
and you know, doing stupid shit. And I was going to a couple gyms. I couldn't find nothing like I had found out there.
Right.
That vibe, you know.
Nothing to get
the people.
catch you.
Yeah, they're like a family, right?
Right.
And so I called the dude, Ramon Diaz. Shout out to his family, bro. He was shot and killed in front of his house like 5 years ago.
Fuck.
Yeah,
Sorry to hear
it's
that.
crazy shit, right?
Fuck.
But yeah, so I called him and he told me, he's like, he's like, man, go see Joe Moreira. He's like, that's our coach, and then you would still be a part of our team. And I'm like, team? What the fuck are you talking about? What's a team? Like this shit? There's teams in this shit? And like I hadn't paid attention to none of that stuff.
Right.
And he's like, yeah, that's my lineage, and that was my coach, and like he's right there in Costa Mesa. And I was like, Costa Mesa? I'm in
right down the
I'm in
street.
Santa Ana. I'm like, man, that's not far at all.
No.
So shit, I called Joe, bro. And if you ever meet Joe, bro, like he does not speak English. He's Brazilian, right? Like he speaks English, but like he never tried to learn. how to speak.
Right. No, I like the Gracies.
Yeah.
Half them dudes don't speak English.
I called him on the phone. I didn't understand shit. He
Right.
said, bro. I said, damn. I said, okay. I called Ramon back. I said, man, you know, he seems cool, but I don't understand. I was like, man, this is the address. Go over there and just trust me, you're gonna get it.
Right.
And I went over there, bro, and dude was like the Godfather, man. You know,
Yes,
like
he is.
he was like the father, the angel, the role model, the mentor, the saving grace, whatever you want to call it, that I needed at that time, man. And he knew it right away because he looked at me and he put his arm around me, and he told me right away when I trained there the first couple nights, he's like, I'm gonna make you very good fighter, but I'm gonna make you good man too. And you need to be here. You know, I take care of you. And so I needed somebody that believed in me in something at that time. And for me to get that from somebody, you know, that in the martial
Now, did
arts-
he say that in English or in Portuguese?
He said that in English.
Okay.
You know,
Wow.
Like, you know, and that broken down.
Right,
English,
right.
But
That
yeah,
broken
man,
down.
Like I understood what he said.
Right.
And
That's a great quote.
with time, you know, I end up being, you know, his translator. You know, I understood everything he said, you know. But
That's
but yeah,
sweet.
man, that man, you know, completely changed my life, bro. You know, if I wouldn't have had him, I don't know what would have happened to me, because, you know, I had been shot. I had been, you know, and then as I started training with him in the beginning, I was hanging out one night, and some shit happened at this house I was at, and I got stabbed. You know, like I got stabbed like everywhere, bro. Like on my face, on my head, on the back of my head, in my neck, in my back, all that. And so the crazy shit about it is, as I'm driving to the hospital, I call my other coach, because my coach Joe had another coach, and I'm telling him, I'm like, yo, I'm like,
stuck up.
I think I got stabbed, you know, because you still kind of like,
the
what the
adrenaline
fuck
is
happened,
going
man?
on.
I'm gonna stay alive. I don't give
Right.
a fuck what's happening.
I need to live.
But yeah, so like I called him, and he's like, "Oh, all right, do you need to go to the hospital?" And you know, I look in the rearview mirror when he says that, and like I'm covered in blood. I like like from head to toe, like
Looking like Carrie. Remember that movie Carrie?
wet, bro, drenched. I'm talking about drenched, bro.
Damn.
And I was like, and then I turned the light on, and I look, and I see, like, you know, I see the cuts, and I look at, there's one on my head, and when I was looking at it, I was like, oh, I could see the bone, and then I reached, like, cause I felt like you could feel the little nicks. I reached back, and I touched the back of my head. There was like the flap was hanging, like, you know.
That's when you know it's real.
I was
You're
like,
like, oh, there ain't no stitch gonna put this together.
Hey, check this out, coach. I think I need to go to the fucking hospital, bro.
Not just the hospital, coach. I need to go to the goddamn ER. Like, I need to see someone immediately.
He's like, can you get to my house? I'm like, yeah, I can. And I get to his house, and he comes out, bro. I get in the passenger seat. He sits in the car. He looks at me, and when he looks at me, he's like, I'm like, what's happening? He starts grabbing his stomach. I'm like, oh shit. He's
that bad.
Bro, he fell out. If I could have filmed this shit, it would have.
He passed out?
Bro, he just rolled out of the car.
No.
He rolled like a couple times, and then just throwing up. And then he's
no.
like, I'm here. I am all cut up. I'm leaning out the window. I was like, hey, you want me to get your wife? You okay? He's like, no, I gotta get you to the hospital. Just put a shirt on your head. Like, see, I can't look at you.
All right.
So I put the shirt on my head, and we drive to the ER. I've been trying to call my coach Joe, and you know, he wasn't answering. And when I walk in, Guess who's sitting in the emergency room?
Don't tell me.
Is Joe sitting there with his wife?
Don't tell me.
I find out that she had a miscarriage that night. You know what I'm saying? Later on, but I didn't know that at the time. But he wasn't answering my call because that's what was going on.
He was, and you guys.
And so when he sees me, bro, he jumps up. I come through like it's a movie, right? I'm walking.
It
through.
sound like a fucking movie for real.
I'm walking through the ER, and like as I'm coming in, like I don't even have a shirt on anymore. Just had fight shorts and just blood from head to toe, and like. They didn't let me talk to him. They pulled me straight to the back and started stitching me up. The police were on their way to ask me what happened, which, of course, I'm not going to fucking tell you.
I don't know shit.
He's like, he tried to tell me, oh, yeah, you were on that I said, yeah, I was on the street. I made up some street name. I said, yeah, I got jumped. I didn't see who it was. They had masks on. And he's like, oh, okay. He's like, there was a shooting over there. I was like, come on, man. I'm not stupid, man.
Right.
Come on,
Yeah.
man.
I'm not going to fall for that bullshit.
Just miss me. If you're going to arrest me. If not, stitch me up and get me the fuck out of here.
Get me the fuck out of here. I'm breathing.
Yes.
So that sounds like divine intervention, because the fact that the coach just so happened to be in there. See how the cards line up?
It's ironic.
It's like it's
ironic.
That's
really
not
that life is not
happens.
meant for you.
Yeah.
It's not meant for you. And he'd been telling me that.
And they'll show you.
And it's okay, because I realized that night, as much as I wanted to be in the streets, that it was time to separate myself from that.
100%.
It was time to, be a martial artist, a father to my kid, and really start to change and do the things that he wanted me to do, because that man wanted the good things for me. Which we should all want for each other. He
100%.
He wanted to see me have a house. He wanted to see me take care of my kids. He knew I'm raising a little girl by myself as a man,
See?
And then I ended up having 2 more kids, I have my daughter Mackenzie and my son Zach. Shout out to
the kids, Mackenzie and Zach. Come on now.
Yeah, so it was like, it's time to grow up, man. And after that, man, I dove full into I started fighting and competing, and when I started doing the amateur MMAs and wanting to do a professional MMA, Joe pulled me to the side one day and he's like, I don't want this for you. I don't want you to fight, people. I want you to be a teacher.
Oh.
I want you to be an instructor.
He saw something in you more than a fighter.
He did from the beginning. From white belt. From when I started, he told me, like when I told you he took me under the wing. Right. At that time, when I started, I was in the gym 3 times a day. I was in their morning class. I would do the morning class. I would come back. I would help them with their private classes, which I would train with the private paying students. Then I'd come back, help them with the kids class, and then I would come back and do the night class and train. So I'm training all day.
So they see a hard worker in you. They're like, that's what it takes. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Damn, that's like, honestly, this is and we've only been talking for a few minutes. Like, this sounds like something that should be on a script. Like, you better get a script together.
We're writing it right now.
Oh, exactly.
We're writing it right now.
So then you started teaching.
Yeah, I started.
Did you start off teaching kids?
Right away, like by the time I was a blue belt. So jiu-jitsu goes white, blue, purple, brown, black. So it's not
the traditional karate.
Not a lot of belts and shit. Yeah, there's a few belts.
So there's no browns, there's no orange.
No, there's brown.
Okay,
so blue, purple, brown, black belt. From white. Yeah, 4 belt changes.
That's it.
And then you get degrees on your black belt from there.
Okay.
So when you see a blue belt, you're like, this dude knows what he's doing.
Yeah. It's not the beginning.
It's like 2 years per belt. Almost, you know what I'm saying?
Yikes.
Yeah.
That's why I asked about your 4th degree, because I know it takes years just to get black. In order to get black 4 times over, that's a whole lot of training.
Yeah, so I started teaching right away from, white belt, helping teach the kids, learning how to talk. When I would test, normally people would just get their belts. But, me, I had to show Joe the moves and shit. He's like, show me how you, I don't know anything. And I'd have to describe all the moves, the details. And so I got better at teaching. And that's what he wanted from me. And he knew that, you can't be a fighter forever.
No,
anyway,
you can't.
And you're just going to you're going to get hurt a lot, man.
I mean, even Tom Brady retired.
Yeah,
you can't do one thing forever.
So he was looking at me for my future, like, this is going to be what's going to take care of you and your kids and your family.
Sweet.
And on top of that, the lifestyle, man, that it gave me to be a martial artist, bro.
Right. Now, before we get into anything else, you can go ahead and give a shout out to the school where you teach if you like right now. It'll be a good time.
Yeah, it's Legacy Jiu jiu-jitsu and MMA, and we're in Orange County. Yeah,
Go ahead.
Yeah, like it's under me, Legacy Jiu-Jitsu and MMA, and I teach everything. You know, from boxing to kickboxing to Muay Thai to wrestling to judo to ground and pound to jiu-jitsu.
Okay.
Everything. Yeah.
So so now we're at the point to where you're teaching. One thing I want to, because I'm a fan of fighting.
Yeah.
If you had to pick between the UFC or Bellator, who has the best fighters?
UFC for sure.
UFC?
Yeah, 100%.
All day long,
100%.
It's
yeah.
like
I've trained with a lot of the guys that fight in the UFC, and
Uh-huh.
I've had students that fought in the UFC, and on my podcast we bring on on the CONVO on Persian Legacy TV, we bring on UFC fighters and legends and stuff. So
Okay.
yeah, man, it's the people that got the most money in mixed martial arts is the UFC.
Okay.
So of course they're gonna get the best
best
fighters.
fighters, okay.
People are gonna go where the money's at, right? You know.
Okay. Now let me ask you a question. I'm still on that. I want to ask, and this is, I want your opinion as a fighter, as someone that has belts.
I consider myself a martial artist.
Yeah, as a martial artist.
There we go.
As a professional,
Yes, sir.
someone who I take whatever opinion you have.
Yes, sir.
Is John Jones the greatest?
Absolutely. 100%. The motherfucking GOAT.
The GOAT.
The GOAT.
Not George St. Pierre.
No way. You're talking about light heavyweights and heavyweights.
And heavyweights,
We're
right.
talking about the biggest dudes on the planet. I mean, you're talking about.
There's no one even close, right?
Oh, no way, man.
Right. I've seen him destroy so many careers.
The one loss he has, he was on.
He hit a dude when
he was
on his
in the mount, which is like one of the most dominant positions. He was elbowing him,
Right.
but he was elbowing like what they call 12 to 6.
Right.
And
That shouldn't have been a loss, basically.
No,
he was
hell no.
disqualified. He wasn't. He didn't even lose. He was disqualified for
He's the
illegal
GOAT.
hits.
He's the GOAT. No doubt about it.
Okay, cool.
100%.
Because I see like Chael always talking shit about John.
Chael-
He gives him his props, but he brings up like the bullshit because
Yeah.
John he done ran into a lot of boys. The boy's a wild
He's fun.
boy.
He's having fun. He's
having
young.
fun.
Yeah,
but
man.
I think
that's what makes him
Him.
John fucking Jones.
Right.
The motherfucking. He's not the best ballerina on the fucking planet.
No, he's not.
He's the best fighter on the best mixed martial artist is the best all-around fighter in the world. So John Jones is 100% the motherfucking man, and dude's
Of
a
all
wild
time.
man, and he's a wild man. Who do
now,
you
are you
expect
saying
him
is
to
he the
be?
greatest of all time or just time?
Of all time?
So
no one better.
in a fight,
Yeah.
he beats Fedor.
Oh, fucks him up.
Really?
Ragdoll.
Fedor?
Rag.
John Jones?
Listen to me, bro.
Okay.
Ragdoll. Dude, I've trained with people that have body types like him. Like
It's
he's got like I think
The
it's
longest
80,
limbs in the-
84. Yeah, bro.
I
He
think
gets
it's an 87,
84 or
84 reach.
inch reach. Yeah.
84.
Bro. And this is the thing about
That's
John
not
Jones.
human.
John Jones, he knows how to use his reach. Like
With his legs.
A lot of people that are tall like that don't know how to use. Yeah, exactly.
God
those
damn,
kicks
keep you
to the
off-
knees.
keep
Yeah,
you off of him.
Yeah,
Damn,
he's
it's like
going.
watching an artist when he fights. It's like
He's so creative. in
he's
that.
so creative,
Yeah.
and it's been years.
It's like a rapper freestyling and being like the GOAT. You know what I'm saying? Like he doesn't need to like stick to a game plan and like none of that shit. Like whatever you're fucking good at, he's gonna beat your ass at that.
Right,
You know what I
right.
mean? You good wrestler? Okay.
Yeah,
I
John,
yeah.
and like you see, I'm a casual fan, but I know my shit. But I've seen this argument, and like the people who I respect in the fighting world always say John Jones. So it's
100%.
like I can't
100%.
take someone, and now don't get me wrong, I respect all fighters. Like the last thing I want to do is get punched in the mouth by someone who professionally trained.
Yeah.
But I'm a shit talker. Like I'm one of those dudes. Like I tell my daughter all the time because I'm a father too. Like because I'm just I'm
Shout out to the fathers.
Shout out to all the fathers. But I'm just one of those dudes. Like I've never been scared of anything in my life. I grew up fighting just in the streets with my older family and homies. But like at a certain point, I realized, man, I will get my ass kicked out here because one, I don't train. Two, I haven't fought in so long. It's like, and like that's the problem with a lot of guys. And we feel just as men, we still got it. I can still get out here. But then you fuck around and you run into one of these motherfuckers who's leaving Legacy Gym that'll wrap you up like a pretzel and like how you changing your tone.
The good thing is most of the time, like myself, I don't carry myself in a way that you're gonna want. Yeah, I'll smile and hello, how are you? And I'm respectful to people, and because of martial arts.
100%. That
taught
discipline.
That taught me to treat everybody with respect, no matter what.
No matter
you know what I mean? I have friends that are in wheelchairs. I have, why do I have to be like this big? Just because I can beat somebody up, I don't have to be a bully.
No, you do not, man. Now, okay, let's stay on the fighting. Who's your favorite woman fighter?
Ooh, woman fighter. That's a good one.
That's a good one. There's a lot of good ones right now.
If I was gonna say, like, who was the best, that would be one thing. If I was gonna see who would I pick, that was my favorite. I'd probably have to say Ronda Rousey, because the reason why is I'm a fan of the female fighters. I have a lot of them on my CONVO podcast. She was able to not get hit, ragdoll the girl, put her in a bad position, hit her a couple of times, and then break her arm. Ooh. To me, if you can do that in a fight, why would you want to mess your knuckles up? You know what I mean? I love that style of fighting. There's another dude that's a male fighter, Khabib Nurmagomedov.
I think he is the Tasmanian devil.
What's better than that style?
You
know what I mean?
The whole team of those like Russian, Muslim, that whole I don't want to butcher their names, but it's a few of them. You see it. There's a few of them. Yeah, they kind of look like Khabib,
yeah. 100%.
Those dudes, they wrestle bears from where they come from.
The thing about it is this, right? It's the mixing it up. Because if you're good at boxing and you're good with your hands, I'm not gonna try to outpunch you then.
No.
I'm gonna try to clinch with you and put you somewhere where I have the advantage. Because I have those tools in my belt to wrestle.
Right.
I have those tools in my belt to take the guy to the ground. And then if he gets on the ground, then if he doesn't know jiu-jitsu and how to wrestle,
it's over.
Then it's a big problem. He can lose his limb and he can get choked out very fast. Within 20, 30 seconds.
Khabib is unbelievable.
And then on top of that, you talk about and then there's ground and pound on the ground too.
Boy,
if you know what you're doing.
Oh my God. I liked Khabib before he became champ, but when I watched what he did to Conor, that's when I was like, there's no one in this weight class that can even come close to that. Because say whatever you want about Conor,
he's fun.
The motherfucker could fight.
Hell yeah.
At the end of the day, he could really fight. He might have took his little act a little too far. It became a little WWF-ish. Yeah. But whenever you can fight like that, I believe you should be able to talk shit. That's why a lot of people, when they used to hate, because I had a friend who I used to train with. He was my karate instructor, and he's the one who got me into fighting. So that's how I know the Fedors and all of these fighters. Yeah. But we also like boxing.
Yeah.
And he was of another race. But one thing I realized with him and all of his students and teachers, they hated Floyd Mayweather.
Wow,
we were talking about Pretty Boy Floyd before he became Money Mayweather. Yeah. So like, we used to go watch
the boxing
every time he had a fight. Yeah. We'll order the fight at his house, get all the fighters from his studio, and it would be me and my boys, two boys. We're the only ones in there going for Floyd.
Shout out to Floyd Mayweather.
Shout out to Floyd. But one of the reasons all of them hated Floyd because of the mouth.
Man, I love Floyd.
But what I loved about that, he backed it up.
Yeah, he's the GOAT.
Like if you talk that shit,
come on, man.
If you're Adrian Broner and you talk that shit,
you gotta back it up.
You gotta back it up.
But
you're sleeping on the campus.
That shit talking, it sells it.
It sells. It sold fights.
Yeah, people want to see. People want to see that. People
100%.
Like you got these guys that are really good and they're respectful. And people don't watch them. They got no following.
They got no. Yeah.
It's kind of fucked up.
They have, but no. You got to be a character. It's like WWE.
You have to.
Like
It's 100%.
Everyone who grew up watching wrestling, you knew the Ultimate Warrior sucked at wrestling, but he was such a character. He had more fans than anyone.
Yeah, that's why Conor, like you were talking about Conor, that's why he made so much fucking money, bro.
I think
You
he
know
took
what I'm
I think he took Mayweather's act and made it even bigger.
Yeah,
and he
man.
backed it up.
And you know what it is like I look at it a little bit different. Like I look at it the way I am now with everything I'm doing is that confidence. It's not arrogance sometimes. No. There's a difference between arrogance and confidence. And he had the confidence to speak it into existence, and he became a double weight world champion.
Yes,
the dude has fucking Lamborghini. I want a fucking Lamborghini yacht. Man. You know what I'm saying? Like I'll say whatever,
bro.
I'll say whatever the fuck you want me to. If you're
but
gonna
not
get money
only
like
that, man.
you know?
Whenever you can become the best at anything,
100%.
because I'm sorry. And I'm just me being honest. I'm not the best at anything I do in life. I'm sorry. I just don't have. I have skills in a lot of things. But as far as me saying that I'm the best at anything, I can't genuinely say I'm the best at anything.
Right, 100%.
But Floyd Mayweather can honestly say, I am the best at boxing, or even if you don't even want to give him that, he is the greatest defensive fighter I have ever seen 100%. In my life. Because at the end of the day, fighting is hitting and trying not to get hit.
100%.
He doesn't get hit. He's the best at not getting hit.
It's because people want to see violence. Remember, bro?
Exactly. We said that at the beginning.
People want to see violence. They
people
don't
want, and
you
they
think,
don't
but
look
you
at the
think Floyd,
art.
You think Floyd Mayweather gives a fuck that you want to see him?
Of course not. Why would he?
Why would he give a fuck that you want to see his head get hit? He don't give a fuck about that. He wants that check.
Come on now.
So he did what he had to do and figured out everybody's style and beat everybody
at their own style.
And now on top of all that, he's taking exhibitions and making more money.
Come on now.
The dude's the GOAT of boxing.
He's a legend. Now, I have a few more questions before we get out of here. Now, if you had your choice, what is your favorite? Do you prefer grappling, wrestling, or striking?
I like the mixing of it.
Right. The whole MMA.
That's why people ask me this, right? Which martial art should I start with? I tell them this. Start with MMA. If you're not going to start with MMA, then start with jiu-jitsu. MMA is mixed martial arts, which is everything.
Everything.
Why would you want to limit yourself to one style?
Exactly.
Why would you not be able? What if somebody does have better hands than you? What if you get into jail one day and you got 4 extra telling you to come to the motherfucking back?
Come on the real. Because he tripping.
Yeah.
Because he tripping. Hey, on the real.
Like, you know what I mean? And if you don't got no hands or nothing, what are you going to do? You're going to get beat up.
You're going to roll it up.
You know, like having another option would be good for you.
That is a great answer.
That's the way I look. That's the way I look at it. Is like there's always somebody there that you can kick your fucking ass at something.
100%.
So why not know a little bit of everything and be good at a little bit of everything? So that way, if one thing doesn't work, you have another option.
Man, you couldn't have given a better fucking answer than that, bro.
Shout out to 4X.
Shout out to the bro.
I'm a fan of just watching him talking shit.
Hey, shout out. You hear that, Fo, every time. Even when you're not here, we're thinking about you, bro. Love you, bro.
Yeah, man. Hey. I hope they take that damn thing off his ankle and
we're gonna hook it up to where we'll bring him on your podcast or something, man.
I would love to,
now,
man.
Speaking of, I'm gonna go ahead and segue to that. Tell us about the CONVO podcast before we get out of here.
The CONVO podcast. Okay, so yes, about 10 years ago when I was recording, in the studio, my brother, Manny, he was starting to tell me, he was like, man, you should start doing YouTube. Mm-hmm. And I was like, for what? Right. I'm not going to give away my techniques and my secrets. And
I'm not going to, yeah.
And then, as you get older and you get smarter, and, I had, for about 10 years, I struggled with alcohol.
Okay.
And I quit drinking alcohol 8 months ago.
Shout out to you, man. Good job.
It genuinely changed my life, and it made me. People don't realize the effect that it has on you, like the long-term effect on your brain and your body and your health and the way you do things and the way you carry yourself and act. And my kids were even like, not the household was not
Right.
good. There was a problem. And so when I quit drinking, all of a sudden I'm working out more. My body starts getting in better shape because I lift weights 6 days a week. I run, bike, and swim 3 days a week, and I also train every night. So I have 1 day off, Sundays. But yeah, my body started getting in shape, and I'm like, I'm gonna, you know what? I'm gonna do YouTube because I'm a rap artist. I have 10 albums, you know, and it's like, man, I feel like I never got what the fuck I deserve for all the work that I've put in.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm coming for every little penny I can get out of this shit.
Exactly.
So I started doing the YouTube, man. And you know what I did is I started doing a couple techniques with like describing the techniques and shit. And I was like, man, that's not entertaining. I looked at this shit, man. I want to hear some rap music with my shit. Ooh. So I did the techniques, and in jiu-jitsu, there's a lot of techniques that, you know, 5-6 seconds, the guy's arms broke.
100%.
So I started filming them like that, and then just putting rap music with it that I like from I'm growing up listening to rap music.
Oh, that's dope.
And every day I look 2,000, 5,000 views on my shorts, subscribers going, oh, people are watching.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know, I know a lot of people in, you know, the MMA and jiu-jitsu community. Let me do a podcast and bring out the story of like jiu-jitsu and MMA in my town, in my area, the coaches that are out here, because I know them all. They used to see me compete. They've trained with me. They coach. The coaches are, some of them have been my students. So why not do that shit? And so I started doing that, and people like it, man. I'll be honest with you, bro, Rogan, man. I need some money behind me, man, because I've had to do a lot of this shit myself, and man, I make a lot of little mistakes along the way, bro.
It's a learning. I'm learning as I go along too, man. But like, man, we may have to come together and do some things, because like
we're going to, brother.
This has been a joy, man.
And then on top of, you know, doing all that, I wanted to. I was like, man, my subscribers are going up. People are paying attention. The Convo made my Instagram grow. I was like, man, I'm really investing in myself now with the health, with the working out, with the YouTube, with the martial arts. And, you know, now I want to really put my foot on everybody's neck in this music industry.
Let's go.
And then, you know, so I have a song that, you know, is a single that's out right now that we just put out that we're shooting a music video to.
Okay.
It's called The Message, and it's featuring my brother, Tracy Lane.
Okay.
You know, shout out to Tracy.
It's the name of the song?
It's called The Message.
The Message. And you and Tracy Lang, and they can find it on all platforms.
All platforms.
Come on,
man.
Yeah,
it's called The Message, and you could just put Persian Legacy and then The Message. It'll come up. It's my single that's out right now, featuring my brother Tracy, and Tracy is like a legit brother to me, man.
Well,
like,
shout out to Tracy, and we'll make sure at the end of this video we'll have your song where my subscribers can go ahead and get it, go straight to it, and it'll definitely be playing in the background at some point during this podcast. 100%.
Yeah, we got the music video coming out.
Okay.
And you know, we're working on lots of music. You know, we need some. I'd like to have, you know, some big funding behind me. Like I've got my views. I've got the things I need. You know, that we got the music. Okay. We just, you know, we're trying to make shit happen. We got this music video coming out, you know, and he's got his son working on music, Young Bugatti. You know, I'm working on stuff.
Shout out to Young Bugatti.
I'm working on stuff with Cassius. I don't know if you know who Cassius and Rick Nadi are.
Cassius, man.
Cassius just did a diss song with Benzino on Benzino that went kind of viral. Yeah, he did Eminem. I guess Benzino disses Eminem.
Exactly, yeah.
And then Cassius responded because in the song he says, "Where Cassius at though?" And then me and Cassius had just done a song like 5 days before all this shit happened.
Oh, wow.
Cassius made a song called Femzino. It's out now. Y'all check that out.
It's about time that we you know, we got to take advantage of that shit, man. Come on now.
Hey man, I got nothing against Benzino. I don't know Benzino. I'm not getting involved in nobody's beefs. None of that shit.
No,
but you know,
like it's fun. It's all fun in hip hop.
I do music. I just did a song with Cassius, and you know, I listened to the song, man. Rick Nadi, who's from my area as well, he makes the beats, and this shit's fucking hard.
Hey
bro.
man, at the end of the day, it's only hip hop. He can't be offended, man. But Persian Legacy, this has been great. Hopefully we can get, like I said, not hopefully, but definitely we'll be doing something in the future, man. And I really appreciate you coming out. And this has been Bro Rogan and the Why Not Podcast. Thanks, and we out.
How you do?